Engines roar in my ribs tonight. Blades hum low in the edge of a fight. Dust and sparks in the outer rim sky.
Sukwagar Vodeon and hello friends, welcome back to the channel. GungHoGuns here from Mando, and yes, the mustache is present, accounted for, and currently doing more DPS than half this raid team. True story. Anyway, we're back in SWTOR today, and we're diving into the Annihilation Marauder for PvE. We're going to show you how to play this class the easy way, the Mando way, while still casually slapping out 31K DPS and wondering why your keyboard isn't on fire like everybody else. And today, I'm not doing this alone. I got one of my Mando clan members with me, who is legally classified as dangerous when playing Marauder. Anyway, grab yourself a drink, get comfortable. We're doing Mara Annie the easy way. Looking for like-minded lunatics to play SWTOR with? Then why not join the Mando community? We're on the Starforge server, and we've been around since the Star Wars Galaxy days. Back when blasters overheated and the cantina was the real endgame. We run everything: PvE, operation, dungeons, weekly world bosses, PvP, duels, bounties, you name it. If it explodes, we're probably already there. So if you want a crew that actually plays and isn't just standing around on fleet quoting Revan, then join Mando. Discord is in the bio. Strap-in is going to get loud. All right, my friends, I want to introduce you to someone special. This is my friend Burz. He's one of our clan leaders here in Mando. And unfortunately for my ego, a way better player at Marauder than myself. So today, instead of me pretending I know everything about Marauder, like a lying politician, I'm handing the mic to someone who actually does. Burz, if you want to introduce yourself, my friend.
Hi, I'm Burz. I've been playing Star Wars since about 2013, a couple of years after it came out. And Marauder was one of the first classes I learned. It was one of my favorites to pick up, and still does, in my opinion, some of the best numbers in endgame content today. It's got really good viability. You know, it's a really good all-around class.
Awesome, man. So what would you think of it, you know, as of, you know, going into 2026, would you think it's one of the top classes, the Annie Marauder right now, or?
It can be argued it's up there. In terms of versatility, the raid healing, the movement it brings, the damage, all around, this is still a very solid class. Despite what people may think, you know, power techs may be better, other classes may be better in some spots, but Marauders have always been a really solid pick in most raiding scenarios. So
awesome, man. And so you guys know, Burz is our prog team leader, so he's pushing Nim pretty much almost daily. Would you recommend this class to new players and players that just want to try something different?
Absolutely, it's not a very hard class to pick up. Obviously, it follows a pretty static rotation. You can obviously mess with stuff, change it up a little bit, but for a new player, it's a very simple rotation to follow. So,
and that's what we like, guys. We like simple. All right, perfect. Let's move on into actually the stats and everything else that we will need to know.
All right, so for Marauder, there are two key implants you're taking. The first is Dispatcher Package. When you activate your dual Saber throw, your next vicious throw or vicious slash critically hit, and every time you critically hit with a weapon attack, you generate one rage. It can occur more than once every 3 seconds. The other one is Berserker's Call. It reduces your frenzy cooldown by 15 seconds, and the big thing here is activating Berserk, your big damage ability. It increases your damage dealt by 5% for 10 seconds. The tactical we are taking is Spiteful Saber. Makes your Rupture do more damage, and your Vicious Slash, Vicious Throw, and DST also tick and refresh the Rupture bleed effect on your target. The other one is Hidden Power that you use out of combat to build Rage pre-fight. Moving into stats, we're running 27-22 accuracy, about 22 to 2300 Alacrity and 3400 crit just for my build right now. This is built for Nim. If you're not wanting to do Nim content, you can hit your Alacrity threshold with 560 Alacrity and dump the rest in crit if you'd like.
And that's again if your guild has Zeal perk, one of your implants, like that implant right there, if you wouldn't mind scrolling over it, Burrs, that implant right there would have just enough Alacrity to get you over that threshold. Again, this is if you don't want to do Nim content or PvP, and your guild does offer it. There's plenty of Alacrity for you. Go ahead, Burrs. You can continue.
Moving into the combat tree, there are just a couple of quick things I want to touch over. All of these are what you're going to want to take. 23, you can swap out Juyo Rend and Draining Center. Juyo Rend until you're a little more familiar with the class, and then Draining Center when you are. The other big one is your Rupture, your Blood Wave. When you AoE dot spread your Rupture, you can hit Rupture instead of Vicious Slash in your rotation, and it'll AoE any ability or any enemy with Rupture on it. The rest of these are what I take pretty much all the time. So.
And again, guys, feel free to copy it. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and Burrs and I will try to help you the best that we can. We're going to move on to the rotation part now.
So getting into this Annihilation rotation, there are a couple of things I want to touch on before I talk about the opener. The first being this ability right here in our tree called Pulverize. Your bleed effects give you a 30% chance to grant Pulverize, which increases the damage of your next DST for 100% and resets the cooldown. It can only occur every 18 seconds though. So when we work through a full rotation, we go through about 10 to 12 seconds. So not every time are we going to be able to hit this, right? So in place of DST, if we're not able to hit it, we're going to want to hit Ravage. And if we, for whatever reason, run into rage issues, this would be the GCD after Annihilate that we would hit Battering Assault to give ourselves more rage. The other thing to talk about is sub 30. You'll want to start using Vicious Throw in place of your first Vicious Slash after your either DST or Ravage. If you're using it after DST, it is an auto crit, so it is the biggest thing. Third thing we'll talk about is pre-fight. You're wanting to build your 30 stacks of Fury. And what I like to do is also use my Force Camo to get the Rage. So I will flip this on real quick. Build Rage. You can swap it back immediately. And we'll get right into the opener. We'd start by leaping in, and then we Deadly Saber while we're leaping because it's off the GCD. We're going to Battering Assault to apply the beatdown debuff to the target. It increases the melee damage it receives by 5%. We will then hit Annihilate to start our Annihilator stacks. And into that, you will hit Berserk into Force Rend. These two are your main abilities that you always want to hit one after another. Following that, you would be hitting your Adrenal, your Frenzy, your Raid buff, and then hit Rupture to begin your Rupture stack and triggering your Spiteful Saber Tactical. And then you'll hit DST to proc your first Vicious Slash, and then you go through your filler rotation here. You'll hit 3 Vicious Slashes, hit Deadly Saber, and then 2 more Vicious Slashes, and then you get into the main rotation.
All right, perfect. Yeah, go ahead and show us how the actual full rotation works. And guys, again, once we get to the main rotation, we'll actually go over the DTS and all that good stuff after that. But let's take a look at the full opener. And again, remember with the openers, you do this one time, and then you never do it again. So we're going to go ahead and let Burrs do his thing.
We'll click through this to show you guys. We're building the 30 stacks, obviously. We're going to get our Rage. And we're going to leap in, Deadly Saber, Battering Assault, Annihilate to start the stacks, Berserk, Force Rend, 3 fun buttons, Rupture to start it, Dual Saber Throw, 1 Vicious Slash, 2 Vicious Slash, 3 Vicious Slash, Deadly Saber, 1 Vicious Slash, 2 Vicious Slash, and you trigger your Berserk.
Perfect. So again, that was the opener, guys. Again, this is one of those things where I definitely recommend putting the bar like Burrs have, just until you learn the opener, and then we're going to get into main rotation after that, and just how easy this class is to play. Burrs really made it easy, guys. So if you guys give us a second, we'll come back with the main rotation.
All right, so following up on the opener here, we have our 30 stacks of Berserk again. So with Rupture applied on the target, we're maintaining our ticking damage from our Vicious Slash and DST and whatnot. So in the main rotation, you're always wanting to hit Berserk into Force Rend. The Force Rend does extra damage, being the first stack of Berserk you hit there. So you always want to hit that there. Annihilate's the next one you want to hit. I have it set in this GCD because it always comes up on time to maintain your Annihilator stacks. When you hit Annihilate twice, being that it'll be the second time from the opener, you'll get it to its lowest cooldown of 8 seconds, approximately. Onto the fourth ability here, which is where there can be a little variation. If you have a proc dual Saber, you're going to hit it here. Otherwise, you would hit Ravage. And if for whatever reason you're having rage problems, this is the GCD right here where you would hit Battering Assault. And then we get into the main filler part of the rotation here. Your main filler is Vicious Slash here. It's your highest hitting ability that is a rage spender, aside from Annihilate and Vicious Throw. So what I always do is I will go 3 rage spenders, a non-rage spender, and then 2 rage spenders. The rage spenders, like I said, being Vicious Slash, so I'll hit 3 of them here to start building the stacks of Fury. Deadly Saber at about 16 to 20 stacks. I always typically try to hit it at 18 stacks of Fury. And then by the time you hit your 4th and 5th, you'll be back to the beginning. You'll have 30 stacks of Fury again, and you'll be able to hit Berserk again.
Awesome. And then when should you be hitting that Vicious Slash? I noticed that we have it right under the 5th GCD. Is that below 30% of the boss?
Yes. So in the sub 30 of this rotation, you're throwing in the Vicious Throw, your execute ability, on the very first Vicious Slash here. It's important to try to maintain its position in the rotation because it'll always come off cooldown by the time you get back to it, after your 5 GCDs here and your 4, excuse me. By that time, it'll be up and ready to go again, sub 30. And the best time to hit it is after Ravage or DST, and the best one being DST because it is a guaranteed auto crit.
Perfect. Well, let's see what that looks like in an actual rotation fight.
So as we get back into our rotation here, we're going to go back into Berserk, into Force Rend. We're going to hit Annihilate. DST came up there, so we're going to hit it. We're going to go 1 Vicious, 2 Vicious, 3 Deadly Saber, 1, 2. And as you see, we come back to a full set of Berserk. So we're going to go through it again. We're going to hit Annihilate. DST is not proc this time, so we're going to hit Ravage. 1 Vicious, 2 Vicious, 3. We're at 18 stacks of Fury, so we'll hit Deadly Saber. We'll go 1, 2, and back again, right? So it's this simple. Berserk, Force Rend, Annihilate, DST if it's proc, Ravage if it's not. 1 Vicious, 2 Vicious, 3, 18 stacks. 1, 2, and back to Berserk again.
Wow, that is very simple to do.
If we go just a little bit further, I can showcase the sub 30 here. We have a proc dual Saber's throw. So here is where I'd hit my Vicious Throw first, and then I'd hit a second, third here. I have 20 stacks when we hit Deadly Saber. I ran out of rage, so I'll hit Battering there. 1, 2, and back into it again. Berserk, dual Saber because it's proc, Vicious, 1, 2, Deadly Saber.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have any force issues once you get consistently doing this, because all the procs from before, work together. But again, if you ever do fall into, not having enough rage or whatever, you do have that battering assault. But again, that was one of the simplest rotations I've seen, Burrs.
Yeah, it's a fairly it's a really static rotation. You're only replacing like one or two things the whole way. And it maintains super high damage like most of the fights. So
Perfect. Well, guys, we are at that part of the video where we are going to show you a full showcase. So again, we'll put the music on, and then we'll let Burrs just destroy this thing at a 2 million HP. On the far right side of the window, you can actually follow along and see the damage that it's doing, and you can kind of see that you can hit 30k with this basic rotation on how to play, any Marauder and still be very, very good in most of the raids. All right, guys, and that concludes the video. I hope you learned something. Again, drop in the comments in the video if you have any questions. Burrs or myself will try to help you the best that we can. And our prog leader, Burrs, has a message for you guys. Go ahead, Burrs.
we are running a prog team, and we will be starting some new ones come 2026. So if you're interested in any progression rating or whatnot, feel free to check out Mando. We are a very friendly community, and we are starting, like I said, we are getting into the prog environment. So be sure to check us out. I will be looking at starting a new team, like I said, sometime next year. And feel free to join. If you're interested in prog, come check us out, man.
Thank you very much. There you hear it, guys. That's from our prog leader. So again, if you're interested in doing some crazy kung fu, check us out. Discord is in the description. And as always, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next ones. Take care, everybody.